Welcome back to Red Panda of Destiny, where we are covering Two of These People Are Lying by the technical difficulties found on the Matt and Tom YouTube channel. Today's episode is Season 3, Episode 2, Suspicious Saints. As usual, spoilers apply. And I want to preface today with the fact that this is actually my least favorite episode in the series. Neither round really goes anywhere, and there's even a negative somewhere. We'll discuss that later. But let's go through it anyway. So we have two positives before the first round, actually. Matt's intro and Gary's intro. Usually it's just Gary's intro, but Matt follows it up quite well by making a joke about the fact that he doesn't have a joke. I like the paradox of that. And that moves us on to round one, Wellington Paranormal, which actually sets everybody off laughing because they're like obviously the two that are lying are like, how the hell am I supposed to do this? And the person who brought the article did it on purpose. They deliberately brought an article that was really hard to make something up for, because Wellington Paranormal is clearly a TV show set in Wellington about paranormal activity. I mean, it's kind of hard for it to be something else. But the other suggestions were a parachute competition and a New Zealand football team. Parachute competition does not go well for Gary. He tries to tie it to the Wellington bomber, but it's like, why would you use the word para? I mean, the para part is fine. The normal is a little bit weird. I guess he kind of figured it might sound like parachuting, but yeah, it doesn't work. And the New Zealand football team is semi-believable because Matt makes it like that the two team members rose from the old Wellington football team and then went and found new members, and then they said it was haunted, but why would the team be haunted? So that doesn't track. But Chris, who obviously had the right answer, was talking about the New Zealand TV show, which was actually really interesting because Tom remembered it, and he was like, he vaguely remembered it, and he's like, if you're making this up, then you've planted a memory in my head. Like, that's pretty clever. Of course, he wasn't making it up, so it made sense. But I'll give a positive for that one. But then we were going to round two, where things really go downhill. Ostall. So it's, before anyone's even said anything, Gary bursts out laughing. It goes on for a good 5 minutes, I think, maybe less. It felt like 5 minutes, before finally saying that it's Swedish motor oil. Then he said it wasn't his. So he's like, I can't, it's not mine. So yeah, that was interesting. I'll give it a positive, though. It made it more entertaining. But the other suggestions we had were a Cornish saint and an Austrian metal polish. Not very interesting. So this is where a negative comes in. When Gary is trying to explain his Austrian saint, he talks about the article and how it has connections to France, and that just turns into confusing everybody. And then they're getting all confused over how Cornwall is connected to France, when they are actually culturally similar to the area of France known as Britain. Britain and Britain are obviously culturally related. That's why the names are so similar, right? The same people who live in Brittany, is it Brittany? Oh, it's Brittany. Yeah, that's a peninsula in France. Are the same people who then settled Cornwall. So they're actually very similar. They were just isolated a long time ago. So I'll give a negative for that whole mess of France thing. But then I do give a positive for the no outro as per usual. But yeah, all in all, not my favorite episode. So join us, I believe, Thursday for the final episode of the show, but I'll probably do a recap episode after that. So join us then.